Hi, everybody. Oh my gosh. So this is creative visualization, creating the life you want. Take two, take two. Right now, I'm going to try to visualize doing a live stream and not being interrupted, even after I bought a huge on-air sign, so that people would know that I was on air. Matter. We're gonna make it matter. We're gonna make it count. So. And here we go. Here comes the puppies. Now we really know we're live. Okay. So, what I had planned earlier, don't you just love plans? Don't you just love plans? Reminds me of that line in the movie Julie and Julia. And the girl who was going to start this blog, she was going to, spend a year, she wanted to cook her way through one of Julia Child's cookbooks, The Art of French Cooking. And her husband, was helping her set up a blog to do it. And she goes, but I need a deadline. And he goes, why? And she goes, because otherwise it'll be like everything else I'll do. I'll never finish it. And he goes, deadlines. He goes, I just love the sound that they make as they go whooshing by. That's how I feel about my live stream plans. Here's my plan, and there it goes. There it goes. So anyways, life is what happens when you're making other plans. So I was still very tired when I tried this the first time. I'm exhausted, but I was a little bit cuter 2 hours ago when I tried to do this. I had a little more lipstick. Now I'm just exhausted. So let's try to visualize our way through this. So what I had wanted to talk about today, and what I wanted to listen to and review was this. I think that Shotki, I always called her Gowan, Shotki Gowan, poor thing with that last name, must have got butchered a lot. And then I found this interview that somebody did of her, and they called it Shotki Gawain. And I was like, oh, Shotki, I'm so sorry. But I wanted to listen to that today. I wanted you guys to review it. And what I mean by review it is, one, I don't want to be sued for copyright infringement. Reviewing it. It's not the basis, the crux of my live stream. No, I want you to let me know how it touches you in the comments, okay? So that's what I mean by leave a review. I don't mean like leave, 4-star or 5-star. I mean, I really want to know if it inspired you the way it inspired me. And also, I don't want to get sued for copyright infringement. I'm not infringing it. I'm exploring it. We're reviewing it, and we're going to let Shotki know how we feel about it. So I discovered creative visualization, probably almost 30 years ago, and really touched me, really inspired me, and made sense to me. And through times in my life, I've gotten really busy, law school, marriage, divorce, law school, gotten busy, and I've dropped it. I've owned these books, I've given them away, I've owned the books again, I've lost them. However, I've lost them, I own them again now. So I'm on this mission. It's a 52-week experiment to see if once a week, every week in these live streams, I hold myself accountable to show up, even if nobody else does, and get myself through. Well, it's almost like having a vision board, isn't it? Except I'm not doing, not cutting things out and putting them on a board once. I'm every week fine-tuning and adjusting and doing projects, hopefully with a lot of you. So first week, we wrote a letter to ourselves, to our our future self in 52 weeks, naming goals and hopes for ourselves. The second week, we had literally a ceremony. We named something that was no longer serving us. We cremated that sucker, and we read eulogies for each other, and it was gone. And we replaced that energy, that space. Okay, we replaced it with something else. I can tell you that that whole day worked for me. The thing that was no longer serving me was this. There's the cheerleader and the critic. The critic would rear its ugly head and go, Annette, you're not capable. Whatever it was that was in front of me. Mind you, I'm more than capable. But whatever it was that was in front of me that was even just a little bit daunting, the critic would come up and go, yeah, you better be daunted. You're not capable. Got rid of that. I haven't had that thought again since. Okay. Now we're naming goals, right? We're actually naming the things that we really want in our life. We're creating the life that we want. So now we're going to pick one specific goal, and I'm really going to focus on that. It doesn't have to be major. It doesn't have to be, being the CEO of a Fortune 500 company in a year. So that most certainly can be on your list, okay? It can be something as simple as learning how to eat with chopsticks, which I am proud to announce I'm finally doing. I might almost take off that kitty thing, but probably never. But I'm doing it. I'm doing it better than I ever did before. So I maybe wouldn't be embarrassed to even try it out on a date if somebody would like to ask me. Okay, let's start today with a reading from Shotke's Daily Book Awakening. Today is February 2nd, so let's go to February 2nd. And it says, the thing I really like about this book, it'll have almost like a little chapter title and then the bulk of the reading and then like an affirmation after it, okay? So February 2nd, stillness. Stillness is something our culture doesn't value and is somewhat afraid of. We don't cultivate the art of stillness, which is essentially meditation. Stilling the physical, emotional, and mental levels enough to experience the spiritual level. In stillness, we stop the frenetic activity and confront the inner place of emptiness or loneliness. By staying with the painful feelings long enough to move through them, we contact our deepest essential selves and reconnect with a universal sense of oneness with all. Stillness can be a very blissful state. If you allow yourself to be physically, mentally, and emotionally still long enough to really connect with spirit. And then the affirmation is, I am cultivating the art of stillness. I personally do not know what it is like to be still, even when I am in a state that I would like to think of as stillness. I am in motion. It's frustrating. So I like that, and I am going to work on it during this next week before the next Creative Visualization Thursday, which, by the way, I can sing. Happy Thursday to you. Happy Thursday to you. Happy Thursday to all of us. Happy Thursday to you. Okay, so I want to listen and review this interview that I found with Shotke. And And I loved it because she talks about, Shotki talks about how Shotki became Shotki. She did not know that she was going to be Shotki. Gawain of creative visualization, she didn't know. It started off as something very different. And I loved this. And I really want to hear in your comments how you feel about it too. So we're going to put it on. I'll show you a little blip of the video. I want you to see Shotki. She's older in it, and just lovely, just such a sense of peace. We have our handy dandy little Bluetooth speaker. And of course, you know, I still one day hope Lipton green tea sponsors me. I have drank a Lipton green tea every live stream of my short and very undignified on-air life. One day, Lipton will send me two of them. COD. I'll have to pay for the postage when it gets here. Okay, let's listen. I got it ready. Let me get on this little phone. And here we go. Let's see. Playlist. Okay, so
think of the person you most admire in the world. What sentence do you think they've lived their life?
Okay. New World Library is a I don't want to call it the publishing house.
So it's been 35 years since you and Mark Allen first started New World Library. Did you ever imagine when you first started where this path would lead?
You know, I really didn't. I had no idea. I was in my 20s. I graduated from college with a degree in dance.
I can't hold it up the whole time
for me because I wasn't good enough to be a professional dancer. I'd done some traveling. I actually ended up traveling all around the world, kind of a shoestring, as a lot of us were doing in those days. And when I got back to my home in the San Francisco Bay Area, I realized that I was on some kind of path that had to do with me learning and developing myself as a person and discovering what my gifts are to share with people in the world. And I just was really following my intuitive feeling, although at that time I didn't even know that
really working
intuition, but that's what I was doing. And one day I went to a workshop because, of course, I was reading metaphysical books and going to the workshops. And
you know what it is.
In a workshop on creative visualization, the teacher had us write out, our expectations or our visions for next year, and then for 5 years, and then for 10 years. And I remember thinking, how do I know what I'm going to be doing in 5 years? My gosh, that seems like forever, Well, when I did the exercise, I actually wrote each thing for each of those years. I was shocked and amazed because this entire vision came to me that I really had no idea about. Writing books, leading workshops, traveling around the world, and all those things. And that's what has happened. That's what came about.
It was really meant to be.
It was really meant to be. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Creative Visualization, which is an international bestseller now, was the book that started it all. So how did Creative Visualization come to be?
Well, at that point, my friend Mark Allen and I were leading workshops and imparting to people the things that we were learning that we were excited about. One of them being the technique of creative visualization, which is basically just being able to imagine something that you really want to such a real state that you actually help bring it into being in your life. And I was using that in my life for everything. Need a new apartment? Okay, I'll visualize that. Want to feel greater self-esteem? Okay, I can visualize that. You can use it for so many things. So I was all excited about that, and I wanted to share it with people. And I was leading workshops at that point, so I decided I would write a little booklet, just a little, with a few of these ideas in it that we were learning. And so I sat down and I started writing, and I was really inspired, and really working on it for a while. And then something happened, and I just stopped. I got blocked, and I couldn't write anymore. And it was, I didn't know what to do about that. I realized that there was a part of me that was saying to me, who do you think you are? I mean, I had just begun all this work. Really, I was in just the first few years of this kind of self-discovery. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's true. Well, who do I think I am that I would have, things to impart to people that would be useful and valuable to them? So I stopped, and I stopped for several months. And really what's interesting is what got me going again was the fact that I had actually sent out a little message to my people on my mailing list, saying that I was going to have this little booklet that would be available at a certain time, and they could send in $5, and I would send it to them when I got it done. So a few people sent me $5, and then I wasn't working on the book, and I started to feel so guilty that I said, I sent them word and said, I'll send your money back if you want. And they all basically responded, no, just keep it and send us the booklet when it's done. So I felt guilt was a perfect motivator for me at this point, which just goes to show you that anything in life can motivate us. Because then I really felt like, okay, I've got to get this done and send this to these poor people. So I did that, and I did finish it, and I did feel good about it. And we didn't even try to do anything with a big publisher. We just sort of decided to do our own publishing. And so I borrowed $1,000 from my mom so we could print up the books, and I took them around to the bookstores in our area. In those days, you could just do that, take them and put them on consignment. And the book began to sell, and gradually, as an underground book, and then just kept on the last 40 years now.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of writers out there who would give anything to have touched as many lives with their writing as you have. And I'm wondering if you have any advice for aspiring writers who might be, stuck like you were at one point, or who are having a hard time getting going on their project.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to say I am so grateful that this path has been given to me. I never would have known and never would have visualized it. Although I do realize that when I was a kid, I loved the library, I loved books, and I used to imagine that there was a whole shelf full of books written by me. Only they were horse books, because that's what I was into at that time. But I realized years later, looking back, it was a creative visualization of what I wanted to do, but I forgot all about it and didn't think of it again until after I'd written my first book.
Wow.
So
for
writers, I would say really, really see if you can just write for yourself, not thinking about what that person will think or what this person will think or even what your own inner critic's going to think, but just try to write what's really sincere and right for you, for yourself, and not necessarily that it's going to go out in the world. And then if and when it's meant to do that, that can happen.
You talk about being a consciousness teacher rather than a spiritual teacher. Can you talk a little bit about the distinction between those two things?
For me, the word consciousness embraces all aspects of who we are. We're all on a path of consciousness, learning to just be more aware of what we're feeling, what we're experiencing, how we're interacting with the world, and embracing all aspects of ourselves, learning to love all the parts of who we are. So,
and how does that compare with the spiritual approach?
Well, to me, the spiritual energy is one aspect of who we are. The consciousness that we're developing is the whole picture. And one slice of that pie, one part of that is the spiritual aspect of who we are. But I see it as a particular energy that, that we need, and that's really wonderful and important, that links us to that higher self or that deeper self or whatever you want to call it, soulful self. But consciousness embraces it all. Spirituality exists within the consciousness. And our job here is to embrace all that, spiritual and otherwise.
The New World Library recently published the 25th anniversary edition of your bestseller, Living in the Light. And in that book, you talk about how living in the light is really about exploring the deep places within us and shining the light of our consciousness into them. Can you talk a little bit about what that means?
Yeah. All of us have learned in the course of our life how best to take care of ourselves. And how we need to take care of ourselves physically, emotionally, mentally depends on our life situation. But we all evolve into our adulthood with certain characteristics that are, that are definitely like my personality. So, for example, if you're a very responsible, hardworking, busy person like I am, and a lot of us are, that's wonderful, and we can create a lot in our lives that way. But if we're too busy and too responsible and don't have enough of the opposite side, which would be the ability to relax and slow down and nurture yourself from time to time at least, if we don't know how to do that, then we're living our lives out of balance, and it gets more and more difficult to do that as we go along. So what my work is all about is about learning to really embrace and take care of all those parts of us and let them all have their space and time while we're still consciously holding them. So that, to me, that the parts of ourselves that we are less known, the primary selves are the ones that we know about in ourselves. The disowned selves are often the parts of ourselves that we either don't know about, or we think they're not very good or bad, or we've been told don't be like that, or don't show those feelings, or don't do that. And those become our disowned selves. And that's what is often called the shadow. And that can sound kind of scary, but it really isn't. It's really just the pieces of ourselves that we haven't learned to love yet. So this is about learning to love all the parts of ourselves, even the parts that we think aren't very lovable. Turns out we need them all.
Oh, I love that. So,
hello, Christina. Christina says, I can't believe you're still alive. Yet, no, I went live, I died. This is me reincarnated. So that was a little bit of an interview that I found with Shotki. We all know I love Shotki. And I love how she was talking about, she started on this path, she was taking these workshops, and she got kind of turned on to visualization. And the more she explored and the more she learned about it, she thought, oh, I want other people to know about this. I'm going to write up like a little booklet, just like a little pamphlet, right? And so she sent out letters. I think she said letter. I mean, there was no email back then. And she sent out these letters to people, and she said, send me $5 if you're interested in this pamphlet, this booklet that I'm going to write about creative visualization. And people sent her the money, and then pretty soon she wasn't working on it. And she started to feel really guilty, and she contacted a lot of the people and said, I haven't even touched that project. I feel really bad. Let me send you your $5 back. And virtually everybody said, no, it's okay. Keep the $5 and send me it when you're done. And of course, we now know that turned into living in the light and awakenings and creative visualization. And how it started for her, she says, was she was in these workshops, and they told her that they wanted her to write down her goal for 1 year, 5 year, and 10 years, which that's what we did last week, right? That was the project for last week. Write down 1 year, 5 year, 10-year goals. And she said she thought to herself, well, how do I know what I want in 5 years? And then she had this revelation. She saw herself writing books teaching workshops and just touching so many people's lives. And it all stemmed from that project that we did last week. So you never know. And I also love something that she said, and you can, if you missed it, go back and watch it. When she said, I wasn't working on this pamphlet, this booklet, and I told people, please take your $5 back, and they said no, and she started to feel guilty, and she said guilt was a great motivator. I'm Jewish, so I understand. She said guilt was a great motivator, and she said, really anything can motivate us. She's right. I started to say, no, I said it the first time I tried this stream today, that your life is a miracle. My life is a miracle. It's a miracle that we're alive. Everything about you is a miracle. The way you think, your dreams, your past, your personality, your hopes. Every single thing about you is a miracle. And a miracle is just endless. It's just one big, huge surprise. It's endless possibilities wrapped up in one big surprise, right? Be open to the endless possibilities of your life. We've all had pain. We've all had disappointment. Hopefully they were all surprises. Hopefully you didn't see them coming and you were just like standing there waiting to get mowed down by life's big locomotive. Hopefully it was a surprise. Surprise! And you picked yourself back up. Your life is a miracle and the possibilities are endless. And let your dreams be big. Let your dream be bigger than your fear. Stop worrying about all the things that could go wrong. Start getting excited about all the things that could go right for you. And you've got to start with to claim what is yours and to claim what you want. You have to name it. You have to name it. Once you name it, then we're going to start to visualize it. Okay? So, Christina, I'm going to put you on the spot because you're the only one here because I'm not in my right time slot at all. Surprise! Surprise! Jumped on YouTube thinking I wasn't here. And guess what? Surprise! I'm here. Christina, talk to me about a goal. Talk to me about a vision. Because I know you did your homework last week. It's not homework, it's life work. Life work, that's what it is. I'm not gonna turn her off. I'm not gonna turn her off because we might want to listen to the rest of Shotki's interview. We're not listening to it, we're reviewing it. Why? Because I watched YouTube videos on copyright infringement, and they said if I was going to use other material in my live stream, I needed to specify that we were reviewing it, so that nobody was. Also, not the crux of my my hot mess of a live stream. No. I'm just gonna keep it real. Your Honor, Exhibit A. This is a review. Shotki. And by the way, Shotki would totally give me permission to use her stuff. She just would. She wasn't dead. So it's not just a review. It's a celebration of her life. And And I encourage people, it's also an infomercial. And I encourage people to go out and buy her book if you enjoy what you hear while you review it today. See, Your Honor? And please don't give me a donation on this, because then they'll say that I made money off a dead woman stuff. And I love shocking. Okay. Christina, her goal for 2023 is to complete 16 diamond paintings. I don't know anything about diamond painting, except I've seen some of the stuff you do. It is gorgeous. It looks like super labor intensive. So is 16, is that a lofty goal? Is it lofty? Oh, Christina, I have to tell you, everybody else just, no, don't even listen. Christina's like my right hand. And this is my right hand. Oh, maybe it's Christina's right if she's looking at this. Got a new follower, probably lost her now, but got a new follower, nobody that we even knew. I don't think we knew her. That's exciting. It's somebody you don't know. And here we're going to go pitch for hoping for Lipton sponsorship again. So 16, is that a really lofty goal? 12, and you did 16. Awesome. They're gorgeous. I honestly, oh, so in the Facebook group, the international writing contest that I got so excited about, the one that I was like, how come you didn't at least vote for mine? I got so excited I didn't realize it was only for Ohio residents. And then I contemplated briefly moving to Ohio because it was such an exciting writing contest. It was a writing contest from this museum, right? It was like the Toledo Museum. And they were going to, you had to pick a work of art and write a poem about that work of art. Christina, why don't you, just came to me, surprise, why don't you pick, I know, better, tweaking it right here online as it happens. Annette Goes Adventures is so exciting, you just never know. You just never know what's going to happen. Right here, it's like atom bomb, like a mushroom cloud, and I'm fine tuning it as all the toxicity comes down. That's right, not even Annette knows where she goes. Just pack light, and pack a snack, and a cool, refreshing Lipton green tea. This live stream is not being sponsored by Lipton, but hey, fellas, it could be. Okay. I think that you should put up a diamond painting every month, or 5 right now, and everybody needs to write a story or a poem or whatever about that diamond painting in the Annette Goes Adventures Facebook group, which is private, but you can request to be a member. Today is for the low price of I can't do any better than that. I would love to throw in, I would love to say I would rotate your tires. I don't know anything about that. Christina, what do you think about that? Let us write stories or poetry about your painting of the month. Aha, I knew you'd like that. That will keep you on track. Okay? And whoa, how cool is this? That as an artist, you're going to get to see how people interpret your art. That's so cool. I'm so cool for coming up with that. And you're so cool for loving it. That's why she's my right left hand. Yeah, good idea. I have them from time to time. And I've had no sleep. So a little bit manic right now. Sometimes that's like really good stuff comes from being manic and a lot of other things. Manicness is not. Don't be afraid of the manic. You like that, huh? Okay, I want you to get started on that. Do you have any right now that you're thinking about posting? Maybe you should, like, you love this. This is like gonna be constant until Lipton sends me at least one. Do you have any right now that you're like thinking about that we could start this project? You do. I knew you would. I knew you would. Have you thought about? I'm telling you, it's getting crazy in here. Have you thought? I have no idea what diamond painting is. Have you thought about doing like a YouTube tutorial? Like doing one? Because I know you have your channel. Sorry, I'm looking for a tiara. I'm looking for one of the party tiaras because like my brain is just getting too good right now. Oh, I'm looking for a party tiara from the dog's party. Remember? Okay. So you sort of thought about doing it? You should do it. I have no idea what it is, but it's gorgeous. I've seen your stuff. It's gorgeous. Do it. Do it. Do it. Look at me. I'm an idiot. Live right now. Yeah. And I forgot to turn my notifications off, and you just tagged me in a picture on Facebook. So, yeah, I think you should do it. I think you need to grow your channel. I don't know what you're LOLing to because the chat's probably in slow mode. Okay. So, yours is to finish 16 diamond paintings. And, oh, I wanted to ask you, because you did for sure, did the exercise where we kicked that, we had a eulogy and we cremated that thing that was no longer serving us. And then we replaced it, right? We replaced the energy so that toxic stuff couldn't creep back in, right? How has that served you, that exercise? Because it was brilliant for me. It was, if the tiara falls off, you just keep waving. Just keep waving. You just keep waving if the tiara falls off. And then, oh God, oh boy, oh God. And then you just get something bigger. Not my birthday, but it is Thursday. Happy Thursday to you. I bought these for the puppies party and I forgot. So, yeah, mine's been amazing for me so far. I've still had, I've of course still had, negative self, that crappy self-talk, that critic still has such a big mouth. But that particular thing that I released, that ghost is toast, completely toast. Whatever fear, and what I've noticed is whatever fears or anxieties that I've had, like they're less without that big elephant in the room. Mine was that I'm not capable, right? That's what I name. That was the biggest voice in the room when I would have fear and anxiety over some kind of dilemma or situation. I'm not capable. I'm just not capable. I'm not going to handle it. I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna blow it somehow. I'm gonna make it bigger, right? I'm gonna make this into like, I'm gonna take it from a situation into like a natural disaster, just single-handedly by myself. That voice is completely out of the room, and that thought does not occur to me anymore. I still have concerns, but what I've found is that the concerns or the anxieties, they're much more, if it's a problem or situation, they are, those concerns, they're actually valid, and they're like, they're so much more identifiable. I cannot believe I said that without turning that into my own word, because that could have been a whole bunch of different things other than unidentifiable. That was a miracle right there. I can identify them now. Where when you just say you're not capable, that is such a way of gaslighting yourself. I mean, it's so broad. It is not specific. It's just hitting you below the belt, pummeling you there repeatedly. It's just meant to hurt and cause self-doubt, which is what gaslighting is. So broad. It just, I couldn't escape that umbrella because it just covered so much. Does that make sense? It was a negative, it was a toxic, negative umbrella, and it covered so much I couldn't get away from it. Yeah, and oddly, sometimes with no sleep and a ton of irritation, things just become so focused for me that I don't want to do it again tomorrow. I'm not having fun. I don't care what the party hat implies. I've had fun before. This isn't it. So I couldn't get out from under it. Now that I knocked that out of the way, the actual concerns are identifiable, and I can say, okay, I need to find a new place. You're not capable, you're not capable, you're not capable, you're not capable. You get out of here, right? We buried you, get out of here. Now the concerns come up. The real concerns, the real valid concerns, the real valid, identifiable problems, you can find a solution to. I could not find a solution under that you're not capable that was masking 60 different things. How could I solve the problem? There were 60 different things being hidden. Now that that's out of the way, I can go, okay, finances, that's a concern. Okay, I need to figure out the budget. I need to do that. Location, that's a concern, right? I need to figure that out. The person that I'm escaping, that I don't want to know where I'm escaping to my safe house, right? I don't want this person to know. But this person would have been my rental verification, right? Solve that one. I could not, I couldn't knock out each of the individual really valid concerns while they were all being masked under one just huge, ginormous that was coming to get me. And now it just feels a lot more manageable. I mean, things are always a lot more manageable when you here we go, compartmentalize, right? So it doesn't mean just because I got rid of that thing, that awful thing, that monster that was not just under my bed, it was sleeping right next to me, doesn't mean that problems went away. I just am not kicked in the gut and left gasping on the ground for breath. while I'm trying to find a solution. Now I just kind of meet it head on and go, oh, okay, so it's actually not 60 things, it's like 5. That's better right there, right? Because telling myself I'm not capable, I mean, that was everything. I mean, all of a sudden all of a sudden the self-doubt and the worry isn't just about finding a place to live. It's about relationships. Because, I started the business. Will I ever see it through? It just was, you're not capable. Okay, which part? You're just not capable. Okay, shit. Right? For me, it's been better. A lot better. So, this whole day of live streaming is just going. But Lipton, you can still sponsor me. I could turn it around. Lipton. I could give me a chance. I could turn it around. Occasionally, I entertain people. That's Christina, right? All right. So it's been better for me. So let's absolutely. And by that, she doesn't mean absolutely I'm a train wreck as a influencer. God, I shouldn't influence anything. She means absolutely I could probably turn this around. That's what she means. That's what she means, Lipton. That's what she means. Okay, so let's listen this rest of this interview that we're reviewing. We're reviewing it and we're memorializing Shakti. And this is done in respect. It's not the crux. I can't remember everything I'm supposed to say to not get sued. Anyway, have fun with suing me anyway. I mean, you want a hat? What do you want? Let's finish listening to this because I really loved what she had to say, and there's not much left of it. Like 4 minutes left, okay? And then we will talk about a creative visualization technique, and then we will end this.
So, not only is New World Library 35 years older since this whole journey began, but you are as well. So I'm curious how the aging process factors into this work and what you've learned along the way as far as that goes.
Well, it's shocking. Absolutely shocking. I don't know who thought this up, but aging is really challenging, and I just never thought it was going to happen to me. But lo and behold, it does, and fortunately, it does tend to bring a certain amount of wisdom and understanding and deep depth of connection with life. And anything that we haven't yet really worked through starts coming up in later life. The things that we haven't got to yet,
I'm going to end up in prison if one more person interrupts my live stream.
Maybe you need to not push me so much anymore. Maybe I need more time to rest and recuperate.
That'll get me subscribers.
Yeah, so it's in a way, it's like the own self therapy. If you're a real active person, then you really have no choice.
Right. That's how you know I'm frustrated.
And because in our culture we are so identified with action and production and doing and making things happen, nothing wrong with any of that. But if we don't have that opposite side access to it, to be able to nurture ourselves and have being time, we're very good at doing in our culture. Most of us are not so good at being.
I'm going to lose my shit. That's what I'm going to be doing.
So that's what often life is bringing us in our older age, just the different qualities that we haven't developed yet, and now it's time to.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. What a wonderful way of looking at it. Yeah.
It helps.
Yeah. And if you were going to offer one practice or exercise that people can do in their lives to be on this path of consciousness and be
it's hard to choose because there are so many, but I think I would have to say that what I consider to be the basic process for getting in touch with your intuitive inner wisdom, which is what living in the light is all about. It's very simple. You just sit down or lie down, relax, let yourself go inside. And if you have any question or problem or issue or just wanting more, if there's anything you really want, ask that in that deep, wise place. Ask for what you need. Like, give me more clarity about my work situation or anything that you want. What do I need to do in my relationship?
Where do I need to bury the bodies of the people I destroy and interrupt my live stream?
Yes. And it can be very simple. And you just do that. And after you then open your eyes and come back
Not
and
joking.
start doing whatever you're doing.
Not joking.
Just let your awareness of that deep process be there. So, and it's practice. Practice makes perfect. Learning to follow your intuition isn't really that hard, but it does take some practice and sometimes some real support.
I remember you once saying that if we checked our emails, or we checked our intuitive messages often as we checked our emails, that we'd all be in really great shape.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, that was it from Shotki. She's so cool. So honestly, I really would have loved her, and she probably would have jumped into a live stream. But she passed away. Power off. But what a legacy she left. What a legacy she left. So, okay. Yeah. My headspace is a little bit mixed, just from being interrupted, but we're going to move on from that. So, Christina's goal is to, one of the goals, not your only goal, is 16 diamond paintings in the next 52 weeks. Mine is to find a new place to live in the next 52 seconds. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick a creative visualization technique. And I want you to work on that. If I can find it. Hold on. And then the project for this week that I want you to work on and put it in the place where you're keeping all of your visualization things. Remember, maybe your affirmation cards that you're working on. And I think we should really do one of these one day where people have index cards, markers, whatever it is they want, decoupage, whatever they want, and we make our own affirmation cards. What do you think of that? I like it. I think we're going to do it. So, I know mine is a box that has my letter in it and my affirmations, and my 1-year goals, my 5-year goals, my 10-year goals, all in this box. And so the next thing that you need to work on for your box is a creative visualization notebook. It can be, and it doesn't have to be a box. I mean, your stuff might be in a drawer, or it just might be in a special place. It could be any shape, size that you want it to be. It can be something like this, right? It's a positive affirmations notebook that I had. It could be like a day planner, bigger thing. It can be whatever you want. It could be like a little stenographer's notebook, whatever you want. But this is what Shakti says about that, okay? And then she has some suggestions for the notebook. It's a very good idea to start a notebook that can serve as your creative visualization workbook. In this part of the book, she's going to give us a number of written exercises and processes that you might want to do and keep in your notebook. You may wish to write down affirmations that you hear or think of, so you can refer to them when you need to. There are many other creative ways to use your notebook, such as recording your dreams, goals, fantasies, keeping a journal of your progress with creative visualization, writing down inspiring thoughts and ideas, or quotes from books and songs that are meaningful to you, drawing pictures, or writing your own poems and songs that express your expanding awareness. Here's a few suggestions for starting your notebook. One is affirmations. Write down your favorite affirmations. You can list them all on one page, or you might want to make a separate page for each with decorative borders and designs, so that each time you read through it, you have a beautiful experience as you pause and meditate on each one. 2, outflow list. Make a list of all the ways that you can outflow your energy to the world and to others around you, both generally and specifically. Include ways that you outflow money, time, love, affection, appreciation, physical energy, friendship, touching, and your special talents and abilities. Add to this list anytime you think of new things. Number 3, a success list. Make a list of everything you feel you are a success at. I mean, I wear an amazing happy birthday tiara. This is success right here. You wouldn't normally think of it on the award ceremony, but this is success. Make a list of everything you feel you are a success at, or have been a success at, or have done successfully sometime in your life. Include things in all areas of your life, not just your work. Write down everything that has meaning for you, even if it might not be meaningful to someone else. Keep adding to it as you think of more things or accomplish new successes. The purpose of this list is to acknowledge yourself and your abilities, which gives you added energy for accomplishing more. That's true talk. 4 is an appreciation list. Make a list of everything you can think of that you're especially thankful for, like my live streams and Lipton green tea. Just getting ridiculous now, isn't it? Watch, it'll happen. I'm visualizing a sponsorship. Make a list of everything you can think of that you're especially thankful for, or that you especially appreciate having in your life. Making and adding to this list can really open up your heart and your awareness of the many riches that we all have in our lives and often take for granted. Kind of like, almost sounds like a gratitude list, right? Like Shakti, she was so amazing. It's like a gratitude list before gratitude lists were a thing. It increases your realizations of prosperity and abundance on every level, and thus your ability to manifest. 5, a self-esteem list. Make a list of all the things you like about yourself, all your positive qualities. This is not an ego trip. Okay, it's not. The better you feel about yourself and the more you acknowledge your own wonderful qualities, the happier and more loving you will be. The more your creative energy will flow and the greater contribution you will make to the world. Okay? Number 6, a self-appreciation. Write down all the ways you can think of to be good to yourself. Nice things that you can do for yourself. Simple indulgences that are just for your own pleasure and satisfaction. They can be small or large, but make some of them things you can easily do every day, and then do them. Do it. Do them. This increases your sense of well-being and satisfaction in life, which in turn helps you come from a clearer space in creating your life. That's what it's about creating the life you want. Number 7, healing and assistance list. These are all suggestions for your notebook, okay? Take some, take none, modify them. Just do you, boo. Write down the names of any people you know who need healing or special support and assistance of any sort. Write down special affirmations for them. Every time you look through your notebook, you will be giving them a special boost of your energy. I love that. I love that. They don't even know. You're just sending them energy. Just sending it to them. They don't even know. I love that. I just love it. 8, number 8, fantasies and creative ideas. Jot down any ideas, plans, or dreams for the future, or any creative ideas that come to you, even if they sound far-fetched. Who would have envisioned an elderly chick with trach live streaming? It's just so crazy. It just might work. Couldn't have envisioned it. Didn't matter. Didn't care if it fit into anybody's box. Doesn't matter. Not about that. Far-fetched and wonderful as you want it to be. Okay. Even if you are sure you'll never follow through on them, this list will help loosen you up. Okay, and stimulate your imagination and your natural creative ability. Okay, this is what's her last little bit on this notebook suggestion. You may find it difficult to take time out of your busy schedule to work in your notebook. Yet, if you take a few minutes a day or an hour or two every week or so, you will find that so much work is accomplished on the inner plane. It is often worth 100 times the amount of time and energy you would have spent on the outer plane. So I think what she's saying is, and I would never assume to think I know inside of her wonderful brain, is that the energy that you spend on yourself and towards your own goals is so minute compared to what you spend on things outside of yourself, and it's so much more rewarding. So you'll find a little bit just goes a long way. Okay. So I was going to talk about a creative visualization technique for one of your goals, but I actually think I just we'll get to the techniques. We're still fine-tuning things. I think right now it's important to get into the rhythm of just indulging yourself. And so I think this notebook is where we need to start. Okay? I think that's it. I think we're just going to call it. All right? How are you feeling? Feeling okay? Feeling excited? Feeling like it's a good idea? I think maybe next week, maybe not. We're gonna do a creative visualization where we do the positive affirmation cards. But I need to give everybody a heads up so they can get their school supplies, right? Okay. Thank you for joining, whether it was live or whether it was a replay. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Lipton. And I will see you guys another time. Christina, get to work on those diamond paintings. I want to see a post in the Net Goes. We need it for the creative writing crew. And on that note, bye-bye. Be kind to others, be kind to yourself, and find every